Hello. Welcome, Lorrie Faith Cranor from Carnegie Mellon. Welcome to the web conference.
Thank you.
I saw your talk this morning, which was very, very inspiring, and I think that we can all learn a lot about privacy from the perspective, as you described, the perspective of the user focus. So maybe you can talk to me a little bit about today the work that you're doing and with your students at Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah, so we're trying to understand privacy policies at different websites and the choices that they provide to users. So we're systematically going through and analyzing those choices and also trying to come up with ways to automate the analysis of websites and making that available to users.
And you mentioned the difference between, for example, any of the browsers when you're browsing in privacy mode. Maybe you can explain a little bit about what the difference is, and then I think there's probably people who don't even know that there is a privacy mode.
Yeah, so most of the major browsers have a private browsing mode. Some call it incognito mode or other names. And the idea is that when you're in that mode, you have some extra privacy protections. Now, the primary privacy protection you have is that information about your browsing is not stored on your computer. So this protects it from other people who might use your computer coming in and saying, oh, what was she looking at? Depending on which browser you're using, it may provide some other protections, but people have a lot of misconceptions and they assume, oh, if I use private browsing mode, I'm anonymous. And for the most part, that's not true.
And you had worked on a project with AT&T, which is the Privacy Bird, which you talked about. Has that been used and continue in use?
Unfortunately, no. It was used briefly. It worked with the W3C's Platform for Privacy Preferences, or P3P protocol. But we never really saw widespread adoption of that protocol, and so Privacy Bird was of limited use.
So Privacy Bird, what it did was it alerted the user that there was a website that was maybe in contradiction with their own personal privacy requests. So they had a way of setting up their own personal model.
Yeah, so the idea was, instead of having to, at every website, read the privacy policy, decide what you want to do, here you should be able to set up front, this is what I'm expecting from privacy policies. And then Privacy Bird would automatically check those policies. And if everything was good and matched your preferences, you got a green, happy bird tweeting. And if there was something wrong, it would tell you what was wrong from the perspective of it violates your personal preferences for privacy at this website.
And do you feel that now with the requirements of Europe, with the GDPR and the General Data Protection Regulations, do you feel that this will have a good impact for the privacy policies, or do you feel it'll change them?
I think it will change them. In the short term, I think a lot of them are getting more complicated because there's a lot of things that companies are required to disclose. And it's good to have those disclosures, but it doesn't necessarily help users to have all this long text. So I'm hoping that longer term, companies will then take the next step and develop more concise and clearer privacy notices that will actually be more helpful to people. But ultimately, I think having the privacy notice is not enough because people are not going to go read hundreds of privacy policies. So we really need standardized policies, more like food nutrition labels, and we need privacy policies that your personal agent software can read for you.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing more from you at the web conference.
You're welcome.
Thank you.